People.
All right, cool. Now, apparently we're rolling.
Oh.
We can.
How do you open usually, though?
Well,
Ta-da.
typically how I would open, and maybe we'll just go with this, is with my co-host, Shaquila Myers. But if you haven't noticed, she's not here. I do not
I
see
have
her
noticed. I did.
Yes.
Yeah,
So here I am on the road, killing a couple birds with one stone in Hollywood, L.A., Southern California, and you're one of them. You're a bird.
Nice to be a bird
Yeah,
capable of being killed.
Yes, Michael
Thank
Patrick
you.
Sheils.
Fun to find you here.
I know. So we just hit on this a little bit when we were chatting, but you're one of those people who, and maybe less so you to me, but me to you, I've known about you for years and years and years, right? But you don't, I haven't met you until
Now.
right now.
Yeah. Unless there was a time I don't
I mean,
remember.
I think I've walked by you giving years worth of interviews at Mackinac.
Oh, right. Sure.
You know, but there wasn't an introduction.
Yeah, no. Well, it's nice to meet you here.
Yeah.
And I would like to give you a Powerball ticket for tonight.
Oh, my gosh.
$600 million and spend it all in one place, I say, if you can figure out how.
Is this your move? Do you do this for people?
It is. How did it go?
I actually feel a little overwhelmed by it. But I
Thank
think
you.
my first thought is, oh crap! Like, how do I do this?
It's
But-
a funny thing. If it's a high number on Powerball
Okay.
or Mega, I will carry around a pocket full of tickets. And so
Oh.
if I see someone on the street playing a violin for coins,
Oh my
I might give them the
goodness.
ticket. Or I might
They're
pass
like, I wanted a cigarette, but I'll take this.
Yeah, well, they can buy a lot if they win. It gives them hope for a little bit, though. And I do it with, bartenders and servers and
Yeah.
people. And they almost always say the same thing. If I win, I'm going to give you half or I'm going to give you some. And I always say, don't write checks that you can't cover.
Yeah.
I
Did
said,
they proceed to
I
just
know.
not get your contact info?
Everybody says it. I wonder who would do it. And it's not really for that. It's a gift. So don't worry
Wow.
about it. Yeah.
I have a few more thoughts on this, or questions rather. I mean, I guess how often are we doing this?
When the jackpot is up 300, 400, 500, because then I can say, hey, here's 500 million.
How often
maybe.
does I don't follow the lottery.
Oh, the lottery?
Yeah.
Well, you can play the Michigan Lottery at MichiganLottery.com or the Michigan Lottery app or at one of the many retailers across the state of Michigan,
It's the first
including
of many apps.
Meijer, where you get more of the things you want most. More local produce, more home decor, more free prescriptions. You get it all for less at Meijer. Why pay more? It gets up there, I don't know, every couple of months.
Okay.
And it takes a while to build. So, it'll be a couple, 3 weeks up there at a high level.
And
I hope you win.
is this so? How long has this been your signature?
Well, probably 15, 20 years. And I've given them to interesting people. I gave one to Gene Simmons from Kiss. He didn't really know what it was or what to do with it.
He's like, is this money? I don't know. My people handle it for me.
Might be. And I gave one to President George Herbert Walker Bush. Now, he was in his 90s,
Okay.
and he wasn't quite sure what it was either. That was in Maine, in Kennebunkport. And so
I won't dig into that. But
gave it to his friend, and I said, you really don't want the tax burden that's going to come with that. So we had a
Yeah.
little joke. But it usually is a nice icebreaker. Kevin Connolly, if you ever saw the show Entourage, he played Eric,
yeah, he was kind of the smaller
the
blonde.
pizza boy. Yeah. He was his manager. But I've given him tickets a number of times because I see him at Dantana's. And he said to me, don't you ever worry that you're going to give it to someone who's going to tuck it into their vest pocket and zip it up, and they've had a couple of pops, and they forget that it's there, and it'll be the big winner, and it'll go uncashed.
No, I don't worry about that.
I said,
That could be the
not till you
answer.
just said it. I didn't worry about it. But what are you going to do? If fate is fate. I mean, if they usually give you some notice in the media, like on a ticket of that size, they're going to let the world know, hey, this ticket was sold at, that gas station in Okemos there, or wherever, Colker 76, whatever, at such and such a date. So maybe word would travel around.
Yeah, I
don't
feel
know.
like the story of an uncashed ticket, maybe that would go pretty.
Sad. Very
Yes.
sad.
So hang on. What's this place?
Oh, Dantana's.
Is this a bar?
It is a restaurant, Italian restaurant that's been there for
Okay.
decades, and a lot of people like Jay Leno and Johnny Carson and
Really?
Dabney Coleman, and a lot of celebrities still pop in there from time to time. James
Like
Woods is
sit
there
at the
often.
bar and have a cocktail.
Yeah, there's a small bar about a little bigger than this
Oh.
of regulars, and then it's a red sauce joint,
Yeah.
with the Chianti bottles and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get into that then. Just set a stage of you're bicoastal.
How dare you? That's kind of personal, isn't it?
And by the way, no one calls Michigan like there's a coast, the fresh water. I mean, but you have a presence.
The Fresh Coast. I never
very-
heard that before.
Fresh coast.
I
Yeah.
like that.
I just made it up, or I don't even know if I said it. I think you just heard me wrong.
You
But
better run over there and get some kind of protection for that. That's a
Yeah,
cool idea.
let's do that later. You have a big presence in Michigan. Obviously, you're still on the radio every morning.
Thank you. Yeah. 21 years now, 13 stations
Yep.
across the state, and 5 days a week. And then, of course, it's always available on podcasting and streaming at mibigshow.com. There's another one.
Yeah,
Need a little plug bell, I
know,
think.
I need a tab. I think we need to somehow put some games of betting and wagering around how many ads you're going to drop.
An over and under. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
like
we're
that.
at 3 now.
We're at
Three.
3. 3 for sure. Probably something subtle that I missed. But then you have kind of a presence or a footprint in California. You're in the industry,
Yeah.
so to speak a little bit. Talk about that.
Well, it's a late discovery in post 50s, and
You're post 50?
thank
Get
you.
out.
Under 90 is what you really mean. It's impossible. And I don't know, I came out because my son moved out here and I came
Okay.
to visit. And I kept visiting and I said to him, I think I'm just going to move here. And he said, "What?" And
He's
don't
how
worry,
old?
Not full. He's 28 years old.
Okay.
Not full time, I said, and
Yeah.
I'm not staying with you. Don't worry. I'll find my own things to do. But I think he was worried I would crimp his style like any kid would be.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, he liked having the old man. One of the first times we came out, I took him to Spago, and Wolfgang Puck came over. He happened to work around the floor that night, and he came over to say hi. So here's Harrison and I in his early 20s, and Wolfgang Puck, the celebrity chef, he says, tell your daddy he should get you a house account here. I said, hey, slow down. He'll be
Right.
bringing all of his dates here, chef.
You're like, I don't even have a residence.
I said, now I know why you were so successful as a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
Here he's working, the 25-year-old kid for a house account.
Mhm.
So anyway,
the guy
that
who's
was
going to pay next
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
me pay.
So you ultimately meandered over here with some regularity, and you are doing what are you spending your time doing when you're here?
Well, it's all performance really. I go on the radio from in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I'm done with the radio, I'm a travel writer, so I write for the Lansing State Journal and USA Today Network.
Mm-hmm.
So that requires some moving it around anyway. So I'm lucky to go all around the world. And then the other element here is the acting, which I didn't really realize that I would be able to do at my age and with not much training at all. 0, in fact. But I started showing up and I started getting gigs. And so I did 2 auditions before I came here today,
Wow.
in fact.
Okay, so is the draw being part of that experience? And I mean, frankly, we're both like students of the world and business and everything and get a peek into something, or is it that you want to sharpen and build your acting skills to the point where like you want real roles?
I have no delusions about being, Leonardo DiCaprio, but I like the evolution of getting speaking roles after starting with background parts and being around the excitement. Even when I was a teenager, I liked being around the excitement. I wanted to be the bat boy for the Tigers, and I wanted to, and I found these things and I persisted. In fact, I wrote about many of them in a book called Invite Yourself to the Party, which
There's
you can
4.
get at Amazon.com.
There's 4, unless Amazon's a second plug in
Oh,
itself.
2
Are
for
we
the
at
price
5?
of 1.
That's great.
No, but I'm just fooling around with you. But that is a theory that I've
Yeah.
somehow got. I don't know how. Growing up in Wyandotte, you grew up in the UP.
Yeah.
People like us didn't come from places like that, did we?
No, and I would say that's I haven't coined anything around, but a lot of my experiences to my contemporaries or my peers, people are like, "What are you doing?" or "Why are you there?" And I do have this. It's more nuanced than say yes to everything. It's kind of a constant mining for adventure, but that overlaps with work or life or it's not. I'm not trying to climb. I'm not an adrenaline junkie. Like, don't want to be thrown off a roof for $100 later or whatever on a cord. But I will read that. But I think it's something we have in common. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, what am I even doing here right now? Does anyone know? I'm an R&D. I'm build it while you fly it on purpose kind of a R&D. I'm saying I'm R&D in life right now. And that whole invite yourself to the party, that resonates with me.
Well, you've been moving it around lately. You've been in Mexico, and you've done a lot of traveling lately, if I know correctly.
Yeah, that's
Florida, maybe?
Yeah, that's kind of how I roll.
So here you are.
Here I am, yeah. And I've kind of amassed my own little group of friends and quasi-professional relationships here. And so I come out here. I love it here. My 17-year-old who ends up figuring out how to get on the plane with me to come out here because he loves it so much. He's in Hollywood doing something right now. He's like, talks about his grandparents just dog on California all the time, right? Or anyone kind of right leaning or Midwest, and I get that, but he's just like, it's so wrong because the people, the sunshine, he's a big health nut, right? He's like, I can go get grass-fed beef anywhere, and I'm like, that's not what most people measure a good
especially
time.
at that age.
Right.
They're going to In-N-Out as soon as they land at the airport.
But yeah, exactly. But given people do have that kind of simple bifurcated thinking around California, what's your sales pitch around what's broken and weird about the state and what is unlike anywhere else?
I don't know. When coming here, is a whole new culture for me because I'm from Michigan too. So to learn it, the Sonoran dog really is the thing that keeps me and the thing that made me the most excited. Really, a bacon-wrapped hot dog with peppers that you get on the corner from a grill when you're coming out of Dodger Stadium and you thought you had your last dog for the night and you got one more for the road. So
can I tell you how happy I am that wasn't a piece of art or something? When you said Sonoran dog, I was like, oh no, it's either some philosophical thing about
oh yes, I go to the
West,
museum
or
and
it's
I view the Sonoran dog.
Exactly. I'm thinking, is that a bronze statue somewhere that is the meaning of life or something? So okay, hot dog, yeah.
I think I don't talk too much about myself. It's not really that interesting, but you've done this. You have reinvented yourself a number of times, I'm sure. I have too. So this was a chance to try something totally new in my 50s. A new culture, too. You should learn a little Spanish if you're going to be here. Yeah. You should realize that you're going to have a hard time finding parking. And when you do, it's going to be expensive. Gas prices, don't even start talking about that. And bathrooms. And you're going to have a certain element of crime. It's a big city.
I thought you said crying. Do you, that too? Or, okay, yeah.
And unhoused people, because that can cause you to cry sometimes when you see that element of poverty. And also the fact that everybody you meet gets tipped. So put all that together and come on out. All it takes is money.
Everybody that you meet gets tipped.
Yeah.
Does that mean that there's a tipping culture here?
Oh yeah. Everybody.
I haven't really picked up.
If you come to Polo Lounge and you park your car at the door, you're going to not only going to pay the fee, you're going to give a tip. Then you're going to walk up to the maitre d' who's going to take you to a table. They're going to get a tip. It's old school.
This
That's
is
what
a workaround to not having the $35 minimum wage that they dream about here.
Or you could pass out lottery tickets and see what happens. But I like the new culture. I threw myself into the first time I got booked, I didn't know what to do. I had a part. It was a Laura Dern movie in one of the Helmsworth brothers. Okay. The last night of shooting called Lonely Planet. It was downtown Los Angeles. I didn't know what to do. I said, oh, my God, I got booked for... So, it's kind of like scary a little bit because you don't want to make a fool of yourself. Yeah. And, there's a lingo. You don't know the language, whether there's a culture. That was exciting to try something new like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to tell you very quickly about my one and only experience as no, they don't call them extras anymore.
Background actors.
Background actors.
Thank you.
I was at the Realtors Association.
Mm-hmm.
I was like a grunt there, whatever. And a guy, I think he's still there. He was working on the side to learn how to be a stuntman.
Oh.
And this is when Michigan had some incentives going on.
Mm-hmm.
So he is like learning stunting and doing background acting work just to try to get himself in. And he's like, oh, here's this link, this is the agency, one of the, I put myself on, I threw myself on there. You have to put like a photo and pretty much nothing, just like a pulse. And I immediately got an email. I mean, there was stuff going on all the time, like little, I mean, they didn't, not only did they, yes, this would have been in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did they not pay a lot, I didn't even turn in my form. I think I'd lost it, so I didn't get paid anything.
Okay.
But it was they didn't give you a lot of details, but somehow I realized it was a Bruce Willis, 50 Cent, Ryan Felipe. Somehow this was one of 50 Cent's like bundled package that he did with someone where they bought 8 movies and 7 of them were straight to DVD and maybe. So we somehow, I don't know, we put the pieces together to realize, oh, this is that movie. I'm like, I'll do that. So I go on a Sunday. I have to be there at 6:30 in the morning, something crazy. It's February, downtown Grand Rapids. Not pleasant. I mean, the amount of standing outside, first of all, I was not dressed for it. No one said, act like you're going to deer camp as far as your layers. Like, I just, in my mind, thought this was going to be very different. So I'm freezing.
Mm-hmm.
A couple hours later, they're like, who drove here? And I'm like, 1 of 10 people. And they're like, go get your car. You're going to be in a scene driving. And I'm like, I mean, I'm not a great driver.
You should get paid. You get paid extra for that, though.
Well, I didn't get paid at all.
Okay.
So I'm in my Pontiac G6 or whatever. But I remember the director, he was like, all right. And there was like 4 of us that were going to do this scene. He's like, as soon as as I do, I was looking off in the horizon. I was like, oh, what's going on over there? Like, is that, like, who's over there? Is Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
And he literally goes, look at me. And if you don't want to look at me in the eyes, get out of here and I'll get someone else to do it. And I was like, oh. But his point kind of was, I'm going to explain this once. Mm-hmm. And, those are the kind of crimes that normally go undetected that I do. I wasn't talking. I wasn't joking.
Looking.
I was just looking. And I was like, oh, man. And it was kind of right. Like, if we didn't listen, like, we could have just crashed into one of the things that was supposed to crash, not into, So I did a bunch of loops. Next thing I know, the next scene, walking with a Macy's bag in the background, freezing cold. And then just ended up holed out in some building that they had.
Holding, it's called.
Yeah, freezing in there, too. Eventually, by 5 p.m., I ended up in 50 Cent's Escalade with his 2 body people because I think...
Of course you did.
I was walking by, just pacing. And maybe I'd met a few friends, but not really. And one of them rolled the window down, like, you look cold. And I'm like, I'd get in with anyone at that point. So I sat in the Escalade.
Was he in there?
No, he popped in once, like kind of stuck his face in, said something to one of them, smiled, and then left. He's a small man.
Is he?
Maybe 5'7".
So you have what's called the pretty bias. You've heard of this.
No, I mean...
there's bias this, bias that.
Okay.
You have the pretty bias. Do you think did they ask any guys to come and sit in that car with them?
Well, is it that
No.
or is it the, I don't want to say damsel, but is it the, she might die out here bias? I looked pretty miserable.
You know what? If they knew you were raised in the Upper Peninsula, they wouldn't have taken you into that car. They would have known you could handle it.
Yeah, it's true. I think I did get one of their numbers for whatever reason, and I think the texts the next day were like, "Wow, I'm not going to text these people back."
Oh,
kind of a deal. They were definitely
too forward.
But yeah, I'm saying they were from his old career.
Oh, I see.
These fellas.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they kept me warm.
Nefarious.
So
Okay.
I was pretty turned off by the whole thing because I didn't get to do anything cool or fun. I was made to drive, which I don't like doing. And I froze. And I didn't remember to get paid.
It's hit or miss, and it is tricky getting paid if you want really the sort of inside because you're an independent contractor trying
Yeah.
to collect all the time, and it's not glamorous necessarily. You can be there sitting and waiting, 12 hours for one little scene, and
And
it's hit or miss.
do the background actors, extras for commoners like me, do they make any money, or is it still minimum wage? You're lucky to be here.
It depends on the shoot. I've done some background in a drug commercial that was pretty
Okay.
lucrative. I mean, comparatively.
Oh.
And that was not hard work either. Drug commercials pay the best. I've been in 2 or 3 of those. In fact, one of the worst ones, it was a crew. No, the client was from Taiwan, and the crew was Russian. So already it's intriguing, no matter what happens. And it's a bed that turns into a chair that turns into a lift chair. And somehow I passed the audition to look like someone suitable for this type of device. And I'm laying on this thing
You're
with
in
the
the
lights
Craftmatic.
over the head, and I just started laughing to myself as I listened to the Russians going back and forth. I'm like, how did I get myself into this situation? And then it stood me up, and there was a walker that I had to take, and I had to take a walker across the scene, and there was a nurse trying to help me.
This is funny.
Yeah.
This is fun.
So there, and I had to teach me how to use a walker. You're going too fast. But anyway, that's an example. Sometimes you don't even know what you're going in to shoot, as you found out.
Are the rules still that if you're not union, you can't talk? You can only be filmed, but you can't be speaking?
Yeah, if you say one line, then you qualify for the union and the union rate. There's some things. But, you don't really talk anyway because you just don't. This is serious. It's not.
Well, I mean, but you're doing speaking roles now.
Yes.
So
but
at
in
some point you
non-union
transitioned
projects.
to joining the SAG.
I never joined yet because I didn't. I'm not there yet.
Okay,
I'm
so
not
you
sure
don't
I
have
want
to. I thought the deal was.
No,
I thought it was a
you don't
way.
have to.
Okay, like when you're at Cobo
Not like
Hall.
Michigan. You can actually decide not to join the union if you want.
Yeah, because at Cobo Hall in Michigan, I think the rules were I was like part of auto show something. If it plugs in, it has to be done by union.
Right.
So I assumed the SAG was protecting the fact.
Were you
that
a
if
model
you
at the auto show?
God no.
In front of the Jaguar, I bet.
No, no, I
No.
was probably walking around some legislator from
Spokes
Claire while he
model.
was eating cheese on a stick.
It's always the cheese.
Yeah. No.
The cheese treat I saw on one of your previous shows that you used to go and get on the 4-wheeler.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And then
The bacon
Spain
cheddar.
was the
Ham.
ham. Yeah.
Ham. Spain is
Cheese
just a
and ham.
ham-based economy. Hang on though. So it's not a thing where you get you don't have to join the SAG because
No.
you got a speaking role.
I think I get more work by not being union.
Okay.
Because they pay less, and so, but the speechless part is sort of funny that you say that because I was ended up being featured background in a movie with Greg Kinnear. I forget who else it was, but we were shooting at Universal in their City Walk thing.
Okay. Yeah.
I was just one of the background actors, and they came along and said, "Come with me." So you don't know till you show up in life, what might happen. So I now was in the scene with Greg Kinnear, and we were at a kiosk, and I was dealing with the kiosk person, and Kinnear walks up, and then the kiosk person turns to him, and I sort of wander off. I paid or whatever. And normally in background acting, if you ever watch, you'll notice people are talking in the background in a restaurant. They're not saying words. It's all pantomime.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess duh. I mean, the sound.
So it feels weird to do.
That's a dumb
But yeah, the
question.
sound would drown out the mics.
Right, I like these dogs barking. Can anyone hear that?
Some
I don't mind.
directors
I'm a dog lover.
like background din, but most of the time they don't. But anyway, so here I am in the scene with Greg Kinnear, and we shot it 13 times. The director was Irish, and 13 times. Now, and every time you cut and you go, they call it back to one, where you go back to where you started. And they have to reset everything. It's probably 10 minutes. It varies, of course, but everything's got to go back, all these people, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And in the time that I had to stand there with Greg Kinnear and the kiosk guy for 10 minutes of dead silence, right in each other's faces.
Wow.
Because you don't talk to the principal.
What about movement? Because you
can
probably
move
tell.
around, shift around, but you got to be
okay.
back to your spot. But the point was, You don't just start talking to Greg Kinnear in between scenes like, hey, I liked you in that Jack Nicholson movie. You wouldn't do that because he's working. If he wants to talk to you, then it's okay. So can you imagine 10 minutes a shot, 13 times standing there with Kinnear in dead silence, kind of looking at your shoes?
That's strange. That's a strange experience.
So in terms of saying lines, you didn't even talk in between that one.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I'm not what you call a Jersey chaser. I mean, even politicians, I feel like people are still, that should not care. Are like, oh, there's such and such was there. I'm like, I think I have this thing where I pretend like I don't care if anyone's...
Pretend or not care?
I don't care very much at all. But then I definitely give off a vibe of I don't care that you're famous. Just I kind of enjoy it. I don't know. But
were you that way with governors too when you had to deal with them?
Yeah, I mean that's how John Kasich and I text each other. It's because I just walked up to him on the street. He was trying to go for a run. He has AirPods in. I was like, hey. I was like, I really liked what you did in that one debate. You really hit the gay marriage issue with a lot of integrity, and I liked that you were able to talk about your faith, but do it in a way that was respectful. And he was like, okay. I was like, anyway, so great job on that, and we ended up having dinner together with his, I talk more to his agent still to this day, a guy named David, here and there, who also represents Tyra Banks, that whole disaster with her documentary. I don't know if you saw that on Netflix, but point is, I think if I had been, governor, oh my God, I think he would have been like, hey, bye.
Yeah.
If I can't have an authentic relationship with someone, I don't want it. I don't even need the pleasantries, really. So I'll kind of just vomit my personality onto them, and if they're like, ugh, then I just, then I leave. If they're like, oh, it's not too bad.
Father Jake Folio said, in order to be reverent, you have to be irreverent.
I love that.
It took me a year to figure out what he meant. But that's what you're saying.
It's so perfect. There's a time for intensity. There's a time for laughter, which I think is actually most of the time.
I've seen the show. I see it.
Yeah. I like that. But authenticity never wavers. That's the constant. And if I want, give me liberty or give me death, let me be me or throw me off a bridge,
Well, you weren't much value to the people you worked with unless you were willing to tell them the truth, it seems to me. But sometimes they don't want to hear the truth. How
about, I think a value to anyone that you care about is when you're willing to see them and be with them anyways. I'm not trying to go. We're not going to go get our fortune done next door or something next. This is California.
See them and be with them anyway.
Yeah. If everyone just wants to be seen. And sometimes people are 40, 50, 60 years old and they still feel like they've never been seen. Or they only get seen by certain people and they're not the people they get to see every day. Anyways, I think I'm going somewhere too.
I really liked when Pope Francis said, "Who am I to judge?" I'm just not trying to get religion, but since we're talking about these sorts of philosophies, I mean, I try to remember that so often in this day and age.
Wait, so why is that? Why is that a significant thing is it because of who said it?
He did, Pope Francis.
But you're saying it's that significant because it came from the Pope's mouth.
Yeah, and if he can't judge somebody, who can?
That's a very Catholic
way to look
concept.
Okay. Well,
but yeah. I do.
Let's presume everything's okay, and he is,
it's
a gentleman of peace.
Yes.
And if he can't judge you, then I certainly can't judge you. And so it was a freeing sort of thing, and a reminder to check myself, because don't you think the world wants to judge constantly all damn day long because of social media now? Somebody watching this is going to write something terrible, I guarantee it, or they're going to say something judgmental because they just can.
It's just more inputs. I don't think people are any different. right?
But they
Like
wouldn't have
growing
walked
up in
up
the
to you
small.
and said that. Back
Well,
in
no,
the
no, no.
day.
That's a different. That's to me comes down to how we communicate and the authenticity of our communication tools now. That they're not even really that. They're not. They're like one way. But I think growing up in a small town and coming from a very conservative evangelical family, I don't think people are any different. I think we just have different tools, and I think it has definitely corrupted how we spend our time. Meaning, like, it's the access to get on there and have a negative thought or fire off a negative word is you're not supposed to be able to have access to those types of inputs all day, every day. Like, that's what's so bizarre about everything about the information age as well. Like, it's so easy to, it's just all too much. And it becomes, you have to have like a PhD in trying to sort through the noise and figure out what your life is supposed to be about. And most people can't do it. It's like, which part of the noise do they get trapped up in? So California, Hollywood,
The Golden State.
yeah. What are some things about this set experience? And people are obviously so curious. I mean, people think lobbying. What does a lobbyist do? This is like 1,000 times more than that. What are some sets or some experiences you've had that are either, number one, they outline the non-glamorous nature of it, like when I stood up and almost froze to death in a warehouse for 8 hours while Bruce Willis was getting his lipstick on or whatever, or where they're like, wow, this is some really unique either extravagance or kind of insight to something that most people would never see.
Well, you're going to get there early, and you're going to bring 3 changes of clothes, and you're going to...
Wait, why? Because they tell you to?
They're going to choose what you wear based on what you have.
So
You'll get some instructions.
Okay.
Bring this. Always the colors are muted, nothing flashy, no patterns.
Oh, that's tough for you.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
And then someone will come along and say, what have you got? And you have it on a hanger, and so you show them, and then they'll approve it. And so they'll take your picture so they know what you are wearing and who you are. Then you go to hair and makeup and get insulted.
Oh, always hair and makeup.
Yeah, or you get waved through.
Does that depend on whether you're the guy in the bed or you're like, did you always get hair and makeup no matter what?
Yeah, well, they at least look at you. So sometimes, one time I was given a haircut right on the spot. One time I got hair color right on the spot.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I feel like for a woman, this got to be way more involved.
Oh yeah.
The variables.
Line's a little longer over there at that trailer. By the way, this isn't trailers. This isn't in the it's not like the Douglas J Spa. This is you're walking up into a trailer, and or a ballroom where they might have this all set up. I was on Netflix. In fact, I played a principal from a school in Beale City on a movie where the mother was catfishing and
I saw that. I did not know you were
I was the principal. So they gave me a suit that day, a brown suit to wear.
Even though the real principal was in there, wasn't he interviewed?
He was interviewed, but
you were the B-roll guy?
I played the and they gave me the suit. I got to keep the suit that day. So I didn't expect that. That was a nice surprise. I didn't have a brown suit. Now I do. So then you get through the hair and makeup and all that, and then there's an interminable amount of waiting all day long.
You basically paid to wait, right? I mean...
And then you go.
Because you get paid by the hour, and 95% of your time is waiting.
Yeah, that's a good estimate, as you probably experienced.
And so anything fun that's happened in that, I mean, whether it's craft service or access to...
Oh, everybody talks about the food all
really
the time.
Cool
what is the craft services and where's the crafty and all that. But
yeah.
I was in this Vertical, it's called. It's like a soap opera. Oh. And I played a drunken lout. And I was at a charity ball.
You're going to have to define lout for me.
Well, he was drunk and like a nasty sort of rich fellow at this charity auction.
Okay, is that what lout means?
Lout is like a cad, or well, that's even worse probably. Lascivious.
We're getting warmer.
Good. No, it's like a carousing sort of.
Okay, carousing. That's a word my
guy.
Baptist grandpa, who's also the sheriff, would when anytime anyone was drinking, they were carousing. So
You could carouse without being a lout.
I was gonna say you could be a real redneck carouser.
Yeah.
You don't have to
a
be
lout is like
someone with privilege acting up.
they are forward with women, maybe.
Oh, okay, all right. We're adding. I'm gonna.
Yeah. Not like a Lothario. A Lothario is romantic with women, but a lout is like forward with women.
Like an asshole, basically.
So I played this lout, and we were at this mansion in Pasadena overlooking the Rose Bowl. And I got there at, I think, 1 in the afternoon, and we didn't shoot the scene till 7. So there was a lot of sitting around in this mansion in the parts where we weren't shooting, and there was a veranda that looked over, and this woman comes out. She was an Italian woman, and she introduces herself. She says, "I'm playing your wife in the scene tonight." And she was an actress of some distinction in Italy who had just moved here. And she'd worked with Tom Hanks on a couple of things, whatever. So we sat there talking about Italy and travel and all afternoon, like on this couch, waiting for our turn to do the scene. And in the scene, she was meant to throw a drink in my face because I'm a lout.
Uh-huh.
And I said to her while we're on this couch, before we go, I said, when it comes time, you're not going to be able to do this. Why not? I said, because you like me too much now. And she said, no, that's why I'll do it, because you're a terrible man, and I'm disappointed in you. I said, okay. So we finally get in there. There's about 30 people and the crew and the lights, and it's like a ballroom setting, but tight. And the scene comes, and she gets mad when she finds out something that I've done, and she throws the drink, and it went right over my head. Missed me entirely.
So did you have to reshoot?
I'm just smiling at her like, told you.
By the way, what was in it? Ice water?
Yeah, it was colored water, like apple juice.
Okay, like so it's supposed
cut
to be
with
bourbon
water.
or something.
Champagne it was.
Oh, champagne. Oh, so you actually were getting some stuff on your face that was not water.
I was prepared to do it, but she missed me. So we had to cut, reset, as I told you before, 10 minutes all over again. Second time she hit me in the chest. Now that there's a Chinese crew directing, now they're getting a little frustrated because it's late.
Like, lady.
Give you one more shot. And then they said, no, can we just do it ourselves? They came to me and they were very gentle about it.
Oh.
Do you mind if we do it?
They cut to you and then just watched it.
Yeah. Just let me have it and let's get going here. It's all perfectly fine. Throw it as hard as you want, whatever.
Wow.
So the director's hand came and threw it right in my face. And then they made the cuts to make it fit. But
wow.
in terms of a set story, that's a funny kind of set story.
And you were right. You were right.
I was a Lothario, not a lout.
So was it flavorful, whatever was on your face?
Well, they had to keep coming out with a hairdryer too, because to dry off the spot she hit, and it's a little sticky, so it kind of was a bummer.
Like that. So that's a performance that you had. You had lines. You were a character.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
because why would they throw a drink in the face of a guy that didn't speak?
Bid on one of the auction girls, and then it was a soap opera. So the guy who was acting, the doctor came over and he started yelling at me, and I told him I was going to sue him and all that stuff, and it was comical.
So does the soap opera nature of it turn down the pressure? Because everyone overacts.
Because I knew they wanted it to be comical. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fun, and it's way more fun to play a villain than a straight up person. I got to be a scoundrel. Yeah. So that was fun.
Scoundrel. Now I know that word.
That's in the same family.
Okay. I can see the differences in all
but
these
you could
words.
be a financial scoundrel and not a scoundrel with women, you see.
Yeah, so lout is...
It's a word that's needed.
Okay.
For the distinction.
I'm going to get it in my vocabulary. And I don't have a bad vocabulary.
I hope you don't
you
need
hit
it
like
to use
2.5 that I was like, not sure I know what that means. But better than the hot dog I assumed was an art piece.
Sonoran dog.
Sonoran dog.
It's the Western version of the Chicago dog.
Okay. And it's why you love California.
Well, it's one of the things that is totally different from Michigan. Now, if someone from here was moving to Michigan, they went up to get those whitefish bites there on I-2 when you come off St. Ignace, they would probably say the same thing, wouldn't they?
Now, here's a funny quote. My kids all say hilarious things. Actually, my oldest is he's got ADHD and like, he's a hyper focus all day long. I mean, I just started texting his dad and stepmom like since yesterday, the things he's coming. I'm like down to the wire with packing yesterday. He comes, he's like, did you know octopus have beaks? I'm like, no. And then I'm like, no, I didn't. Can we talk about it later? And he's like, no, because if you smash into their face, you can pull the. And I'm like, this morning I'm laying in bed trying to go back to sleep because my phone somehow didn't flip over on time, and I thought it was like 9 and it was 6.
Yeah.
And he's up. He's like, hey mom, do you know like much about Hong Kong? And I'm like. He's like, do you know that there's some English stuff that went on there? I was like, yeah, actually, I almost want to check my phone. The other one was, why are there so many black people in France? And I was like, well, and then actually we did get to talk about the colonization of Morocco, Algeria.
Well, you saw it on display at the World Cup when France played Morocco.
This is why it's in his mind.
I see.
And it's not a negative. It's not, but
yeah.
He's just
Which Moroccans were going to win?
Yeah.
The France Moroccans or the Moroccan Moroccans? That's what the people were saying.
I'm gonna reach down here and grab your book. I'm also gonna grab my phone so I can get the last random thing this kid said to me. So, anyways, I was going somewhere with this.
Cute. When I had a stepdaughter for a while, and she was young, I don't remember, 7 or something. Lauren, she was sitting at dinner one night, just sort of zoned out, and her mother said, "Lauren, what are you thinking about?" She says, "How many people there are on Full House?" Like, why?
Oh, here's on the way here. I'm running late. I gotta drop him. You ever been to Romania?
No, not yet.
No, that's what my son asked me on the way here.
Oh,
you ever been to Romania? I'm thinking, kid, wouldn't you know if I've been to flipping Romania?
I don't know.
And then I said, no. And then next thing, you want to go? And I'm like, not particularly. It's not on my list.
Oh, this sounds like real fun.
Yeah,
you never know what you're gonna get.
He's a trip. But the part I was going for my youngest is we're driving on the US 2, and you hit a couple of those shops one after another, and he's like, "Mom, oh my gosh, I'm gonna mess this up." Oh, he goes, "Is Mackinac paste the same thing as Mackinac fudge?" And I'm like, "Mackinac paste, pasty." He thought it was everywhere he'd been seeing paste. Like it's like a more spreadable fudge.
Yeah, that's cute.
Mackinac paste the same. So I grabbed this book that you brought me.
Oh, thank you.
By the way, great. What's this about? What's this?
The cover?
Yeah, because it's really cool.
I'm so glad you said that because that cover has nothing to do with any of the stories in the book. But I snapped that picture at Vizcaya in Miami Beach.
You took it.
And I thought it was, and I said, the reason I want that cover is if nobody reads the book, at least they'll leave it on their coffee table or their.
It's gorgeous.
Because it looks nice.
Actually, if you sent me the file for this, I'd probably put that in a frame.
Sweet.
Because it also, it slightly looks like someone painted it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with the way the steps are.
Mm-hmm.
But then also, you wouldn't assume this was in the U.S.
Yeah,
based on the
looks like Venice.
Yeah.
But it's Vizcaya in Miami Beach, which is meant to look like Venice anyway.
Cool.
But Travel Tatler is the name of the book.
Yes.
Less Than Torrid Tales, which you can also get at Amazon.com.
Great, and I do know the word torrid, so we've got a good start. Talk about this. You have made a bit of a business or career out of going places that everyone wants to go and then telling people about it. Yes?
Yeah, and some you wouldn't want to go, but it's all
Okay.
part of the rich pageant. This is Travel Tatler it's a guidebook in a sense that it's a storytelling book. So if you were going to New Orleans and you picked up the chapter, it would be stories of things that happened in New Orleans that I witnessed or was involved in at places you'll recognize or you'll maybe want to go try for yourself. So instead of like a photer's guide, it's more immersive in that way with a lot of...
You might get inspired by a visual of an experience.
I grew up watching James Bond movies. I don't know if you like 007 or not, but part of the intrigue of those films is they were set in cool places. Yeah. And when I travel to anywhere that there's been a 007 movie, and there are plenty of them, I always go seek out, Maiden's Tower in Istanbul or, in Jamaica or whatever it might be.
Yeah. So you said in some places that not everybody would want to go. Does that mean that you, for some storyline or depth, sought out less desirable or experiences, or is that you frankly, your experiences some places were just not great?
Both. And also places I went that I wasn't terribly excited about ended up being really cool.
Yeah, that's actually a question we've asked others on this podcast. The place where you're like, I had to go for a conference or whatever, and you were like, wow, I love this place. So,
But also, I've been to Israel, and I would have a hard time getting someone to go with me there right now, I think.
yeah.
I've been to Havana, Cuba a number of times, and probably shouldn't have been there on some of those times because of the law. And so maybe people might not go with me to a place like that. But often if I had a dime every time someone said, can I just go with you and carry your bag? Because I get to travel. And I said, yeah, come with me. You're going to love it. As soon as we land and we get there from the airport, you're going to look out and see a swimming pool. And what we're going to be doing instead is we're going to be going and sitting with the vice president of marketing of the hotel. And then we're going to do a property tour, and we're going to check out how big all the ballrooms are and all the different suite levels. And then it'll be time, be night by then. So it is work. What I mean to say is, so it sounds fun and it is a great education, but
So you say tattler. Maybe it's against your code, or maybe you are afraid that if you say something negative, their visitors bureau won't book you for an ad. But tell me a place that I like brutal honesty about. Everyone's into this, or I was supposed to like it, and I just was meh. Tell me some place that maybe it's even unpopular to say that was meh.
Well, an optimist would say you try to find something interesting everywhere.
Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for.
But there are places where I wouldn't need to go back because I've seen it thoroughly, and it's no offense, but more often than not, it's a place that I imagine, what would it be like to live here? Because it's fun to visit. But if I had to live here, what would that actually be like?
So what about a place that's your expectations, or the delta between your experience and your expectations was couldn't be overcome?
Well, if you go to Europe, which you have, and you go country to country on a train, imagine that, or an airplane, and the culture changes and the language changes and the food changes. Like go across through Trieste from Italy into Slovenia, a completely different situation.
Yeah.
Here, though, in the States, you're going to go from Michigan to Ohio, and it's still going to be all Hampton Inn and, whatever, Buffalo Wild Wings, what have you. So the ability to change your culture so quickly in a place like Europe is quite intriguing to me.
Yeah, I love the study of homogeny, like essentially what makes, I don't want to say tribalism. Now I sound like I'm trying to be an anthropologist, but I think it's the reason I got obsessed with the New York mob was because without cultural homogeny that was so strong, even into like what it meant to be the daughter of the family and what it meant to, what you're supposed to do on Sunday and what you're supposed to, if there wasn't such extraordinary conformity, that type of wide scale crime that's pretty unsavory. It's not like it's sexy crime. A lot of the things that the mafia was doing to make for the revenue streams, like if it weren't for that cultural sameness in these little pockets, in these little places that people live, kind of like they talk about downriver, like the Polish worker at one of the big three in 1965. The houses, and you had your Catholic statue and then your flower pot. Like literally, it was like, that's certainly
where I grew up. Yeah.
More. Did you?
I'm Wyandotte.
Wyandotte. I thought Wyandotte, but so that's not in my opinion, based on what I know, not nearly as immersive or severe in terms of how dense of a pocket of that. But the norms in different countries are so fascinating to me. And then
I would say Wyandotte is completely different than Birmingham, right? In terms of the culture and the types of restaurants.
I think I think that on the, well, number one, are you talking about today or are you talking about in 1960?
Even today,
I agree with you in that the distinctions, number one, in the example I gave, first of all, but also
That's an economic difference too, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the mob is one example of where you could see in the United States an extraordinary like tightness in a community that actually allowed for like a totally different way of living and earning your money,
Well,
and
now,
there was normalization around that.
would you
Anyways,
feel differently if that was a Muslim community doing the same thing?
I'm not saying I celebrate it. I'm saying, you know what I think my journey is on this?
Mm-hmm.
I never felt like I came from anywhere.
Hmm.
My dad is like second generation in the UP. My mom was an Air Force kid who came from Spain to the UP, and all of a sudden she's going to have a baby. So she's probably at 16 got to get married and stay there. And ta-da, that's why we're all around, you know. But they were not, and I'm going to get real off here, but I also think there's something about the kind of the Billy Graham era of crusades and born again, where the born again means we wash away heritage and traditions and culture, much different than not only Catholic, but even like Episcopalian or whatever. There's this obsession with you're a different person now, and therefore there's no value in. I mean, I would try to talk to my grandmother, who was an amazing woman, but she was very much in that era of the early evangelical rallies and Billy Graham, and everybody played in a quartet or sang. But I tried to ask her. Her mom came from Poland and her dad came from Ireland, and I would ask, like, there's just zero interest in knowing. She was like, well, they got saved at such and such a, and they used to be Catholics, i.e., like they weren't really. So as far as culture, I never saw anyone embrace anything about their. I don't even want to say ethnic. That sounds strange, but their local and or ancestral culture. And I think my hypothesis has been subconsciously as a child and now as an adult is that you feel a greater sense of belonging and purpose when you have something, a community, right? Like you identify a lot with your Irish, you're Catholic. There's not too many things to hang on to that have a history. Like I like Europe because it's real. People have been there a long time doing things, and they decide to do them a certain way because they like that way or because it works or whatever. So I've gotten off on a tangent here, but I think it's a really interesting point about what you're doing when you cross you go 20 miles across the border or, down the road, and you get a very different culture. Well, a lot of that's because those people have clung to their sense of belonging in their community. And pass those things down over and over and over in a way that we don't really do here.
And it's good for tourism.
That's on a lighter note. It's good for tourism, folks.
Yeah.
Did I get too heavy for you?
No, I like it.
You sure?
Yeah, I am Irish. Even conversation is like feasting. It's more.
Yeah, I know.
It's more entertainment than you could possibly get.
I have friends, and I've gotten way better, by the way. I'm not trying to diagnose anyone as a borderline personality during a happy hour or anything. Like, I'm not telling you about why I'm afraid of getting trapped in a hot car because something happened when I'm not doing that on the regular anymore. Like I used to be like, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
But I have friends who'd be like, Lindsay is ready for a heavy topic at any moment.
Fantastic.
And yeah, it's a little off-putting. I mean, it's taken me 40-some years to realize like a lot of people don't want to do that, or not right now. But point is, I'm doing a lot less of that. But I think the geographical, like this theme is and I think when you've got the religious experiences that overlay or don't with a certain tribe, it's another level of exploring in your mind about it.
Was your depth triggered by conversations that went into depth triggered by politics or
very rarely
family? You had a hot
trauma.
car? Yeah. Oh, I see.
Overcoming trauma. I use psychology broadly to be like the discovery of self. Right?
That's
know thyself.
though.
Know thyself, and then to understand what you're seeing, you have to understand yourself. You have to understand what you're looking at, and then to understand and embrace people, you have to understand why they act the way they do. And I don't know. There's a lot going on, Michael. And that's my goal in 40s is to think way, way, way less. I have this. My therapist, literally, my first thing, he gave me bubbles. He's like, go outside and blow bubbles. He's like, don't. He's like, because you're gonna focus on like making the big bubble and then the little one, and like stop thinking. So anyhow,
did you read The Great Gatsby?
Oh yeah.
Okay, one of my favorite lines in that whole book is where Daisy says, "I hope she's a beautiful fool. The best thing you can be is a beautiful fool."
That man, you're hitting a lot of. You're resonating. That's. I envy simple people. Simple minds. I do.
They've got it made.
But I wanted to ask though, do you
Yes.
have an international version of the lottery ticket? A leave behind, a signature, a way that you.
I've
maybe
bought
not
lottery
charity,
tickets
but
in other countries too.
Okay, well I'm
Scratch
assuming
offs and
every one of there is. But is that a thing? I feel like you're really grounded in kind of traditions and sentimental things. Like
Yeah.
So when you're in Ireland or
Mhm.
Italy, what do you have signature things that you do?
Oh, I just went back to Italy this year, or excuse me, well, I did actually, Ireland and Italy, but going back to Ireland and revisiting friends and going back to spots. One thing I worry about in that regard is when you have a magnificent experience,
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost very afraid sometimes to go back to that place again.
Mm-hmm.
I ran with the Bulls in Pamplona.
That probably says something about you, by the way.
Does it?
Yeah.
But I don't think I should go do that again because in my mind, it is so mystical an experience.
So is there any places that you in turn attach to and are, because you're sort of saying you leave it as a really positive transaction instead of creating an attachment that would have, is there places that you're like, this is home enough to me that a negative experience wouldn't mean anything because it's part of who I am?
Oh, it's even if the experience is too positive because it's so perfect. I don't want to go have a less than.
Yeah,
premium
I
one.
understand.
But if I'm going to go wander around and hide out for a while, it would be Venice.
Okay.
And I've been lucky. I've been on a good run there lately.
Does
And
it smell in the summer with the water?
sometimes.
Okay.
But not,
I don't know why that weirds me
people
out.
like to say the French are rude and the Venice smells. And I mean,
Oh yeah, French aren't rude, I don't think.
God's sakes, cliches.
Yeah.
But Ireland is a place, if you go, I find it this way, you can just immediately feel your blood pressure drop and let your hair down.
I agree.
You can wear that,
Yes.
jeans and a sweater, the whole week.
It's a very accepting, welcoming, down to earth.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
So that's one. Now, you asked me before about a place. I went to South Africa once, okay?
Oh.
And I know people scream about it. They love going on safari, and they saw a giraffe and everything.
Wasn't for you.
It was okay. I don't have to do that again either. I mean, it captures you or it doesn't it?
Yeah. I feel that way about Jamaica, but that's not nearly as a a unique experience as South Africa is. But we covered a lot.
We're just getting started.
We're just getting started.
I reserve the right to recall you for more questioning.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, any last thoughts, questions, rebuttals, advertisements?
Well, Consumers Energy really doesn't want you to spend that much on your bill, and they have tips at consumersenergy.com to keep your
Is
bill
that why
down.
I'm here? Just to be able to turn my AC on?
And Business Leaders for Michigan wants more jobs, higher personal income,
bet
and a
they do.
healthy economy.
Yeah, they do.
No, I would say invite yourself to the party. And there's this book if you want to help you, but you don't need the book. You can do it yourself. The next time you're thinking of saying no, say yes. The next time you're thinking, this couch is comfortable, push yourself into a
Go.
situation and
Get up and go.
this is what has worked for me.
Yeah.
If you call this working.
Yeah, I do. I love that. Well, what I think your book will inspire for me is more creativity around how I do that, right?
I hope so. A twist.
The fire is there.
Yeah,
yeah.
A funny gift that can get you through the door
Yep.
is like one of the great schemes of all time. And
Yeah.
when you see someone, don't just walk up and say, hey, I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Got to have a gambit of some sort. And
Yeah.
an irreverent one, like you pointed out earlier, is
Yeah.
also very useful.
It is.
You're happy
Maybe a
hosting the
calling
show?
card.
You like it? It's not as easy as people think.
I think the harder part is knowing if it's having really low expectations and and also no strong hypothesis even about what it should or needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great way to do anything.
And that's tricky part too, because I'm here. I'm like, what are we going to talk about? You're like, hey, we're just going to talk.
Well, come on, all you do is talk for money.
I listen for money. Hopefully talk less.
You're gonna be the
but,
last person that needed a structured conversation, right?
Yeah. Well, I've seen your show, so I know how good
Hopefully
you are.
you feel like I didn't completely leave you in a conversational ditch at any point. But I hear you. Maybe that's feedback.
No, this is I forgot there's cameras half the time.
Yeah,
You know, this
is the thing.
We had a glass of wine, it would have been just like this,
I know,
right?
and we should. This is the thing. I'm gonna wrap up, but this is my theory actually. People that are really interesting and really accomplished, but also I don't know how many people are really accomplished that aren't pretty interesting. There is no dedicated. Actually, I take that back. I agree. Some of them are just robots and they suck. But there aren't very many places to just be themselves in a way that it's not just consumable. Like it's heartwarming to others, and where there's no agenda. I mean, you did like pitch 10 companies while we were here.
I you know what? That was a gag.
But
I was just thinking I had to come with something.
Yes. No, I got it. I
So
like
I'm
it. I actually like it.
What can my gambit be? You know.
But the Smartless podcast is a good one for this, right? What the hook was just these 3 people that are hosts, and they happen to be 3 actors. Well, the built-in draw there is that they're actors, and people are like them. They're likable.
Mm-hmm.
And then that gets them the guests. But the guests are also just people that are supposed to be, yes, known, but likable. But the main thing is to learn how much you like them. If you listen to this, it's a great thing. It's a completely unstructured conversation. Half the time the hosts are talking as much or more because they're telling these stories, and it's just fun. But you've already self-selected this group of people that have figured things out. They figured something out. And so their voice is important, but I don't want you to tell me what you think is going to happen in the election next year. I don't want anyone to tell me that. I just get to tell me about you. So.
Yeah, I saw or listened to Joe Rogan interview Taylor Sheridan, the guy that writes all those TV shows and everything in Landman. And they didn't talk for 1 second not 1 second for the 2 hours about what he did for a living.
Sorry, I didn't go through your storied career line by line.
No,
that's not what we were trying to do.
Boring.
But, yes, boring. I want to hear about the lady that liked you too much to throw a drink in your face.
Yeah, she lives in the Hollywood Hills in a guest house right up the hill from here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have so many more questions, but I'm going to be in town for a few more days. We'll have to take this offline.
Or we could resume in Michigan in September.
We could resume in Michigan, and we could also just set up an iPhone and just...
Just off camera, just us?
Yes.
Okay.
Get our doobie roll. So, thank you, Michael.
You can throw champagne at me anytime.
I might take you up on that. Sounds fun. Thank you.